Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, it's me, Dom, and today we are looking at the last part of the Nightfall Dawnguard expansion by Hazash, which we've had a lot of fun looking through so far. You might hear my voice sound a bit dead inside throughout this. The reason why is because I recorded, got to editing and realised there was no audio because OBS had just stopped liking my mic. Don't know why that happened, because I've not unplugged anything and nothing's been updated. But yes, anyway, this is going to be the final of the expansion, so we're not going to see any more custom cards to review for a while on the channel, sadly, which is truly upsetting. But I've really enjoyed looking through all the ones we have so far, and I think let's just get on with this final set. So, Nightfall, we know what Nightfall is by now. Basically, whenever Nightfall gets played, it becomes night for one turn or one additional turn or whatever the number is. And while it's night, both lanes are the shadow lanes. And the main attributes to use these mechanics are intelligence, agility, and endurance. In case you don't know, you can read any of this, and it's all on the what's it called? Sorry, it's all on the link to this page, which will be in the description. So anyway, the first card here is Sneak Thief, which I'm pretty sure we've already looked at, so I'll be quick with it. It's a 2-cost 3/2, which when summoned will draw a card if it's night. So it's a conditional draw power card, which fits in well with these Nightfall decks and really helps them get through their decks faster, as well as giving them more options for later turns, as well as a 3/2 body on the board. Really nice, really cool, fits in really well. Phenomenal stuff. Anyway, this is Eclipse, a 0-cost action which will give a friendly creature cover, and then it will also cause Nightfall. It's really nice because it allows you to basically give a card that's already on the board cover, so it means that if you accidentally misplay or if there's something already on the board, boom, opponent can't hit it now. It's basically the Oblivion, or yeah, it's the Invades, it's the Nightfall's version of Oblivion Invasion for the Invade set. Wow, that was a weird sentence. But yeah, cool card, lovely stuff, very much gets the job done. Next we have the Pale Lady's Swarm, a 3-cost action which will cause Nightfall, and then summon 2 1/1 Wisps, and every time you hit the opponent's face that turn, so in power, there'll be 1 extra Wisp. Obviously, you can't get more than 8 Wisps. And if you've managed to hit face 6 times without a single unit being on your board, then props to you. I'm very impressed. Yeah, cool card, but we've already looked at it before. We will get to the new ones very soon. I'm just going through everything that's here, so those who might not have seen all the episodes will be able to get caught up. But yeah, cool card, and it does make a lot of sense as well. So, Nightcrawler Devotee, I'm pretty sure this is the first card that we haven't seen yet. It's a 6-cost 4/8 with Summon, Nightfall 2, and other Nightfalling effects other than this one will increase Night by 1 additional turn. So a card that's got Nightfall will have Nightfall 2, a card that's Nightfall 2 like this, but not this one, will get Nightfall 3, and etc, etc. It's a very nice card and is basically Keeper of the Gates for this mechanic. But as Invade would really snowball with the Oblivion Gates, while this is more of just a passive buff to units, which is a lot tamer, it basically makes this a lot nicer and a cooler way to work with the mechanic, rather than how Keeper of the Gates helped Invade, even though they pretty much do the same thing. It's also nice because the stats really do make it something where it could cause your opponent to go, right, I need to remove that. That's where I'm gonna throw my removal, but it also means that you can have your much bigger and bulkier cards come down later and go, ha, punch, whatever, really slam down on the opponent and make them regret using their removal on your snowball card, or it might at least get them to devote their units to different lanes and get them to go, haha, you've now had to waste 2 minutes going for that card instead of my big chunky Vampire Lord 7. Why did I call it 7? I don't know anymore. Anyway, let's move on to Undercroft Pouncer, a 3-cost 2/1 with Drain and Lethal, and when summoned it will gain charge if it's night. It's a bit like a Territorial Viper. I mean, they said it's a giant bat Territorial Viper hybrid. I really like the card how it is, personally, because it gives Nightfall a bit of removal, which is in the body of a unit. And as much as Territorial Vipers are very good, they are a bit of an unreliable piece of removal. So if you compare a Territorial Viper to other bits of removal, like Fell the Mighty, the limitation is the power needs to be a certain amount. Piercing Javelin just one bangs whatever it wants, while Territorial Vipers and Undercroft Pouncers, they can be stopped by Ward. They can be stopped by Guards, so you can't reach the unit you want to reach. But yeah, no, a very cool card. I can see people asking to lower the power or increase the value of this card by 1, but I think, personally, it's probably better the way it is. Maybe even push it up to an epic. You can't really lower the health, so if people do find this a bit too strong, those are what I could see people kind of demanding for the changes. Anyway, let's move on to Moonlight Hunter. Again, we've seen this card before. It's one that I am a big fan of. However, my issues come by the fact that it just could not really buff up enough cards, because werewolves just don't really have enough, well, potential in Elder Scrolls Legends. I've said this before, but if werewolves and wolves basically shared a lot more of their synergy, then it would work so much better, and you could make some really cool House Redrun decks with it. Obviously, Endurance would be the only Nightfall part of your bucket there, but you could still make something work. But yeah, that's all I can really say about that. Anyway, Headless Horseman, a 5-cost 4/5 epic guard with some amazing artwork, and is a very cool Easter egg from Skyrim that when I first saw as a child, I went a bit like, whoa, is my game glitching? I was 10 years old, do not judge me. Anyway, when summoned, it will gain power and health equal to the night's duration. And, I mean, this is my second time recording the video because audio issues. I feel like this card is one which is fine how it is, but playtesting would possibly change it, because we don't know how realistically it is for Nightfall decks to get out a lot of Night, because it could be quite possible that some decks have like Night 6, Night 7, whatever. And if it gets to those high numbers, a 5-cost dropping down with like 10, 11 as its stats, you can see where the issues come. And then because it's an undead attribute, the other Night synergy might be buffing up more and more, and it could go really out of control. But then on the other hand, if Nightfall becomes something where you only ever have like 2 or 3 down at a time, you know, seeing this as a 7/8 becomes a very good card, but the fact that it can just be a 5-cost 4/5 also does kind of hold it back. But no, again, I think it's a very cool card, very good card, but playtesting could definitely change the stats of this one. I think, personally, the way I would do it is make it a 6-cost. Other people might have their own different opinions. That's just my opinion. Anyway, next we are going on to Vampire's Thrall, which gives friendly vampires regenerate. It's also a 1-cost 0/1. And it makes, when it's consumed, it will cause 1 Nightfall and add 1 blood magic spell to your hand. I'm a big fan of this because I love blood magic spells, and I do love how they're adding more kind of consume synergy, because there just weren't enough consume cards in House of Elsewhere. House of Elsewhere? Moons of Elsewhere, not House of Morrowind. Getting muddled in my brain. It's a very nice card, and it just makes so much logical sense as well, because the fact that vampires heal through feeding, and the fact that they gain these additional powers, and it's just wonderful. I really like it. We have reviewed it before, but still very good. And here we go on to the final card of the Dawnguard expansion for me to review. Oh my, it's been a journey, but let's get this card done, and then we can have some nice wholesome words afterwards. So, this is Oriels Bow. Surprise, surprise. It's a great card to have in the set, and we get to have it now. So, it's an 8-cost item, a unique neutral legendary, which when equipped to a card gives it 3 additional power and allows you to give it one of 2 effects. The first one is the Sun Hallowed effect, which is basically like the Dawnguard, the heroes, the light, if you will, effect, which will deal 2 damage to all enemy creatures and cause night to just end wherever it is. Or the more vampiric undead option, which is the Blood Cursed arrows, which will give other undead +1/+1, which are friendly obviously, and put Nightfall down for 3 turns. So not only does this make a lot of sense and it's incredibly cool, but it has 2 effects, meaning it's an insanely good card for night decks, and it's also a hard counter for night decks, which is usually a strange thing to say, but it makes a lot of sense, especially with how the Dawnguard expansion goes. So the Sun Hallowed effect also works really well in like control and slay decks, and with a really optimal board, the slay decks can get off some crazy buffs. Like, imagine if, you're against Imperial Swarm, you play this, deal 2 damage to all enemy creatures with 1 card, which has a slay ability, and you've got 3 Brotherhood Sanctuaries down. You would have just made every single Elder Scrolls Legends player stop what they're doing and just stand up and applaud for you. And then the Blood Cursed effect's also quite cool because, you know, buffs for your undead units and also just night synergy and, you know, making something a bit stronger. But yeah, it's a very cool card. And the thing is, the vampire decks can actually use both effects because, well, I mean, it could use Sun Hallowed, but it would screw over their night, but it would also, you know, be good as removal for your opponent's cards. But yeah, still a very cool card and the last one for us to review. But that is it. That is everything, I'm afraid. That is the entire Dawnguard expansion reviewed on the channel. That did not work as I wanted it to, but oh well. It's been absolutely outstanding to go through this entire set. And as much as it's only really been done to kind of proc nostalgia and remind people of the good old days of when you'd have all your favourite YouTubers and streamers doing card reveals, and now it's just pretty much me and you have a couple others here and there. Yeah, I mean, shout out to like the other people who still record this game. You know, I see you in the Discord, the Elder Scrolls Legends official Discord. I see when people like Warlock TSL Legends upload. You get Cruxu who uploads. You get Sly Boogie. I've seen him in my comment section. So you get all these people who still do upload, but it's obviously not as big as it used to be, and it's a bit of a shame. I mean, I'm obviously quite flattered that, you know, I'm getting praised in the second paragraph there, you know, feedback from the Wurginator himself. But yeah, no, it's genuinely been a pleasure to go through this, and I cannot thank Hazash enough for giving me all of this to go through on the channel. Make sure you give Hazash some love in the comments, especially if you made it this far. Make sure you give him some love in the comments, because this has been really nice to go through, and we're going to end this video by looking at what he's moving on to next. So if you don't know, Hazash in the past worked on a Houses of Morrowind like super expansion, which basically would have further extended the Houses of Morrowind set, and you can see a few of the cards here integrated with a few that came out in the original set, and I believe he's going to go back to it now and give it a bit more love, and just re-edit some of the cards. But yeah, this has been it. You guys have been wonderful as always. Thank you so much for watching for the final time in this series. Thank you so much, Hazash, for every single card that you have created here. Let me know in the comments, what was your favourite card from the entire set? And that's it. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.